converse. Let's sip and converse. Let's talk about it. Sip and converse.
What's up? What's up? We back again here on Sip and Converse.
Welcome family to another episode of Sip and Converse. DJ, how was your week?
Man, my week is always amazing. How about yours, Crib?
Can't complain. Been a great week. Weather been fine. Maybe go dip my toes in somebody's swimming pool later on today.
Okay. Well, you talking about a 2 feet pool or a 6 feet
Oh
pool?
no, brother. It can't be no 6 feet. 6 feet. Gotta be deeper than 6 feet. I gotta have a diving board. I ain't doing
Okay.
no diving.
You ain't doing no
Nah,
diving?
I ain't about to break that board. I ain't about to break that board.
Well, you know they have some platforms that's cemented now. The board don't have to be, flexible.
I ain't jumping off no cement thing, but I'm not gonna break that board because if I break that board, it's gonna have to be a crucial conversation.
Oh man, I'm trying to get you prepared for the Olympics, man.
Oh no! One of my favorite movies with Friday, where you come like, "What I tell you about this? You want some of this, old man?" No. I look dead in the camera. No, I'm not jumping off nobody diving board.
Oh man,
life been good to you though.
My life is always great, man.
Your wife is good to you. I heard they're about to come out to you. Your wife been good to you.
Hey, the kitchen's still open.
Kitchen still open.
Yeah. So she's
smelling
been
some
good.
red beans and rice.
Red beans and rice, man.
Okay, I thought it was gonna have to be a crucial conversation.
Nah, man. The kitchen's still open. Good things coming out of there. From the both of us, not just her. Everything's not just on her in the kitchen, man.
Okay, yeah. Same here. My forte is grilling. I enjoy the grill.
You enjoy the grill?
I enjoy the grill. I got to crack open the grill. I ain't cracked it open all year yet so far.
Yeah, I ain't heard anything about you smoking a brisket or anything.
Nah,
so I've been keeping my ear on the streets, listening for that.
Yes, it's been quiet in the streets. It's been quiet in the streets. Inflation, brisket too high right now. But gotta have a crucial conversation when it's time to talk about buying a brisket.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I've been keeping my ears to the street. I said, Crib ain't been smoking nothing here in a minute.
Nah, smoking nothing is right. Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
This day and age.
For our online listeners, we talking about meat on the grill. Nothing that for some of our other consumers might be talking about.
Nothing for the 420 celebration people. I'm talking to you.
We talking about
the 420 celebration people.
We talking about stuff for the grill, meat.
Because crucial conversations can occur.
Yes.
Doing both of them on the grill or if people, the 420 people, y'all be having some deep crucial conversations. I don't know if it makes sense to y'all, but when I be sitting around people that's done that, it'd be some funny conversations. They be deep.
Okay. Well, I'm not too familiar with those conversations. But
they be deep. They be some funny conversations.
Okay.
It'd be time to be crucial. It'd be crucially funny.
Well, just in case for those who indulge in those things, this is not a smoke and converse. This is a sip and converse. But you're invited though.
Sip.
You are invited.
You can always converse.
Yes, we can always converse. There's no judgment here. We want everyone to partake, be a part of this podcast.
So before we kick it off, make sure you click that like button.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
Make sure you share. Go and share with everybody.
Everybody.
Sharing is caring.
As we say in Carolina, everybody.
And as my daughter told me, here at Sip and Converse, you can listen, but we don't judge.
That's what Mia said.
Mia told me, we listen, but we don't judge. That was the lesson they were learning at school.
Okay.
So topic today, Crib, we were talking about crucial. We done dropped a couple of times about crucial conversation.
We sure did.
What's the difference between a crucial conversation and a regular conversation? I know people out there in the listening world is wondering, like, what is a crucial conversation?
Man, up until a few years ago, I thought I knew what crucial conversations were until I was enlightened.
So were you basing your crucial conversations off of Dave Chappelle with keeping it real? or what was your enlightenment process in that?
Oof. Um, you know what? I wrote something down specifically for this topic today, and then we can evolve from there.
Go ahead, brother. What you got?
Um, in relations to crucial conversations, I quote: "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter."
Hmm. Our lives begin to end on the days that we become silent about the things that matter.
Yeah, my what I interpret from that quote was
Mm-hmm.
is that there's some things that we just choose to live with, even though it's bothering us,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's something that we need to address in our lives, but we choose just to go along with it in our workplace,
Mm-hmm.
the places that we live, the places that we serve, volunteer, not necessarily in church, but other places, or the people that we socialize with.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having a crucial conversation with the people that we're involved with, we just choose to go along with it.
Gotcha.
And our lives end right there when we don't when we choose not to address it.
Mm-hmm. So people go along with, you know, quote another person, go along, get along gang.
Yep.
But when is it time? How do a person know it's time for a crucial conversation? Because oftentimes we say we already conversing in there, we already having conversations, we
Yeah.
already talking.
Yes.
But at what point does that talk or that conversation become something crucial? That is, we got to talk about this today, or like you stated, people let it build up, or they don't say anything at all.
It goes back to when you just brought up, when did I realize this? By watching a Dave Chappelle skit,
Mm-hmm.
Keeping It Real.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people believe this. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna say what's on my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like because we're gonna keep it real and say what's on my mind and say what I need to say when I need to say it, that's not really having a great crucial conversation.
I think some people use that tag phrase too, because Chappelle skits were my favorite.
Yeah.
But he used to always tell you too, when keeping it real, what goes wrong?
Yep.
Because a lot of people think by using the phrase keeping it real, that gives them the not a red flag, but a green flag for them to be totally disrespected. Because
Yep.
in the guise of I'm just keeping it real, I'm just saying how it is. But to me, a crucial conversation is time to have one of them when basically when the stakes are high.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You can't have a crucial conversation and not be honest, or people got to be willing to hear it. You know, to me, high stakes. What are the high stakes? When the outcome of the conversation could basically be significant enough that it could be dangerous,
Yeah.
or significant enough that it can impact your life.
Exactly. Especially if you're married or have kids.
Mm-hmm. Or in business partners.
Yep.
Because I've seen businesses go under because everybody avoided that crucial conversation, or everybody avoided that one employee that when as soon as they clock in or walk in, everybody split and go opposite direction, but they
Mm-hmm.
allow that one person. Or in college, my college students, you got group assignments. You got one person that split the group up,
Yeah.
but everybody they don't want to have or confront that situation.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's not so much a crucial conversation to me. It's not always on the who. It should be focused on the what.
Yes.
But people avoid them conversations because they focus in on the who.
Exactly. And especially in places like um where where I volunteer a lot of my time is at my church,
Mm-hmm.
is that you can't continue going on doing the same thing day in and day out, week in and week out.
Mm-hmm.
And the situation is not right, not just for my sake, but for the larger body.
Mm-hmm.
Without having crucial conversations, because if not, you developing a toxic environment.
Mhm.
And the environment shouldn't be so toxic where people don't want to come and serve, or if the people still coming to serve, but they coming to serve because they feel like I'm just coming to check the box of my doing my servant duty, but however, I'm not coming to serve to come to do it out of servant heart. And the environment still toxic
Mm.
because we didn't have that crucial conversation.
Because part of the thing is what I'm looking at is it's three things that's required to have a crucial conversation, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And we already touched on one of them: high stakes. Another one is strong emotions, and the third one is difference of opinion.
Yeah.
That is like if you put all three of those into the gumbo pot, since we're talking about red beans and rice, you got ingredients for it's time to have a crucial conversation. Because stakes are high, we got difference of opinions,
Yeah.
and somebody is emotional. That's when the conversations get real interesting.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, in your place where you do a lot of serving or in your past experiences, what typically happens when the emotions are high and this conversation need to happen?
Emotions. That's a big word in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
From my experience, just been working with people in various platforms throughout my life. Everybody emotions. Everybody use their emotions differently.
Hmm.
You, you know, some it takes a lot of things for someone to really show their emotions.
True.
Where you have one individual, it takes the slightest thing for them just to be all emotional.
So they wear their emotions pretty much on their sleeve or on their shoulder.
Absolutely. But if you have this individual that's don't show a lot of emotion, or not saying that person is not emotional, but you have a person who's, as you can say, is calm as water under any type of pressure. And so just because it takes a lot to rattle them,
Mm-hmm.
people would judge what I experienced. People would call that person cold hearted. They don't have any emotions. And that's not always the case. And so you don't prejudge someone who's very much emotional,
Mm-hmm.
but they not as emotional as quickly as you. And so therefore you need to have a crucial conversation about where that person is at with their emotions, not prejudging them of how they carry their emotions different from you.
I think that how people handle emotions too is based off of their emotional EQ,
Yep.
their emotional quotient. Um, are we have to, and that's a self check. That's a self assessment you can actually do if you buy a brand new book. We don't get promoted for it, but I'm just telling you, it's a book out there called Emotional Intelligence.
Yeah.
And if you buy the new book, it gives you a chance to take a test in the back of the book, a self assessment that tells you about self management, self social management, relationships,
Absolutely.
and it gives you a grade. And within your grade, if your grade is like 70 or lower, it's areas that need to be worked on. If it's below 60, it's an area that needs to be developed. Because with the varying emotions, they come up and come out of people in various situations.
Yes.
Whether it's anger, we all know people who get mad, and if the conversation is not going their way, or if they're losing a conversation or a disagreement, they typically either lash out.
Yeah.
Then you got people who hold it back and they let it build up, and now when it does come out, they explode on you from a situation that happened 2 years ago. So all that emotion that has built up comes from 2 years ago into now. Um, they got anger, they got fear, they got so many other range of emotions.
And that's what leads back to this with the topic now we're talking about, crucial conversation. And again, um, I've been blessed by reading this book, Crucial Conversation, and like Larry pointed out, we're not getting paid to promote this book, but this book has been a tremendous blessing to me. It showed me that that there are times that we have to have discernment when to have those conversations. And like you saying, people, we let things build up 2 or 3 years, or we'll let things build up a whole week where we shouldn't, or we'll jump in and say, like, we need to have this conversation right now when we shouldn't.
Right.
But when you know how to have, when you learn how to have a crucial conversation in the right posture.
So if we having a crucial conversation, I'm sitting right here with my hands balled up. What am I telling you?
It look like you show me you're trying to do something.
Yeah, well, in Atlanta, yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, many of our conversations, body language.
Yep.
Conversation tone and body language determines how that conversation has been received.
Absolutely.
If you come to me and say it's time for us to have a great conversation, and I fold my arms up, I'm closing off. I'm not receptive for what you're saying. I've already predetermined and made up my mind whether or not I'm listening or not. And at that point, your emotion, either my emotions are high, and depending on how important this conversation is to you, your emotions may be running high.
Yeah.
And if neither one of us respect that fact, we want to do like this picture up here on the walls with Muhammad Ali fight. And it may be verbal
Down
fight.
goes Frazier.
It's either verbal fight or a physical fight.
Yeah.
But either way, when the emotions are high and the stakes are high, so much don't get accomplished in the conversation itself. But those are 2 of the signs out of the 3 that I named earlier. Like I said, the stakes are high, strong emotions, and difference of opinions. That's kind of the telltale sign that, hey, we do need to have a conversation about this situation.
Absolutely.
With the emotions being high, oftentimes one of the 2 people involved, if not both, feelings are hurt. And they feel like, I'm either not being quote unquote heard, I'm being talked at.
Yes.
And depending on what we've learned or how we navigate it, we tend to go into default mode of shutting down. How many put a 1 in the chat? No, I'm just playing. Put me in the chat. No, don't tell on yourself. Put something in the chat. Just put amen in the chat if you're one of those people that your default mechanism to go when it's time to have a high stake conversation, you go into shutdown mode.
Yeah. Or one of the things that I share with Tanya all the time is that when you're having a conversation with someone, don't just sit there and hear them. Make sure you're attentively listening to them. Because we can be having a conversation with someone and it's just you and the other person in the room sitting facing each other, but you're really not listening to them with having that conversation. You're just waiting for your turn, the opportunity to say your piece or for them to shut up.
So basically you're telling me they're listening. We call that listening to respond.
No, they're not listening. Listening is when you're attentively taking in what they're saying, but you're just hearing.
But I'm waiting to respond.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been in conversations like that. Before you can even finish that thought, they are responding with what they think a solution is. Or most conversations, most arguments start with the key phrase, "I thought you said." You don't want to hit the conversation with "I thought you said," because like DJ mentioned, some people they're waiting for you to shut up so they can give their feedback or their counter argument or their counter punch, since we're talking about fighting. Instead of repeating, "So DJ, let me understand. So what I'm hearing you say is this," because you got to ask for clarifying questions.
Yep.
Because most people sit there and pour their own concrete into their conversation or create their own set of thoughts of what they assuming you meant or trying to avoid a conversation. Or like you see it oftentimes on a workplace. They have a big quote unquote all hands meeting, or they got a meeting with their managers. Instead of asking the conversation for clarity or asking for clarity of what the manager is saying, everybody sits there quiet.
You just said something very powerful right there.
Well, go ahead.
You being a certified coach and everything, conversations is not just about talking
Mhm.
and listening. Great conversation are also about asking powerful questions.
Yeah, you got to ask clarifying questions.
Yeah.
Most people don't ask clarifying questions. Then when the meeting is over with, they walk out just as confused as they came in. Then everybody huddles up around what we call the water cooler or in
Mhm.
the break room, and they begin to add their own detail to what everybody just heard.
Yep.
And now that leader or that person in charge, next time they come around to have a conversation, they got to chisel up, quote unquote, the concrete. I've been around construction my whole life. My dad would
Yeah.
build houses. When you lay that footing, if somebody laid it wrong, you got to come back and chisel up that dried up concrete
Yeah.
to reset it to be proper. In construction, that's time, energy, and money costs.
Yeah.
That's a delay because if it rains the same day that you put this concrete out, now you 2, 3, 4 more days out before you can build on that foundation.
Exactly.
When it comes to life and relationships, if the foundations are not set properly, if clarifying questions are not had in those conversations, now you got to go back and chisel up the concrete that the person you was having that conversation with has prematurely laid themselves.
Absolutely.
Oof. That's hard to do, but people don't want to ask clarifying questions.
And one of the things I discovered is that people fear conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody, but one of the reasons why people are afraid to have crucial conversation and fear of conflict.
Conflict is inevitable.
As,
It's going to always be conflict.
as long as you have breath on this earth,
It's going to be a conflict. But so many people prefer to surround themselves with yes men and yes women.
yeah,
And they don't want to be pushed back against, or not even pushed back against. You know, when you got 2 or 3, 4 people in the room together, we typically call that a mastermind, when everybody feel comfortable sharing their ideas.
absolutely.
You get more results from those conversations. You get more results and higher quality of ideas in production. But if the person that's leading that meeting or the people involved in that meeting are only looking for, we call it in politics, we call it the echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
You only want to discuss what's going on in the real world. It happens in churches, it happens at homes, it happens on the job. You only want to surround yourself with, most people only want to surround themselves with people with the same thought process.
Yep.
Because why? That's easy. That's easy to do. If me and you from Carolina, we both like who? Tar Heels.
Absolutely. All day, every day.
It's easy for us to talk about the Tar Heels. You let a Duke player, a Duke fan, or NC State fan come into the mix. Are we willing to hear their differences of opinion about our team?
Yeah.
Or are we looking for somebody to be like, oh yeah, Carolina's the greatest?
No. Duke and State can come in here. We can talk, sip, and converse all day. All day. Yeah, we welcome that.
Oh, don't forget Wake Forest, because all of them are there too.
Hey.
But most people they want somebody that's gonna be in their amen corner on all situations.
Yep. Yep.
And you don't get anything accomplished if everybody's always agreeing and nobody is saying or challenging that thought or that thought process.
Yeah, we talked about that on one of our other talks, that people want to be surround themselves with somebody that's going to agree with everything that they do and say, and that's not going to never happen.
No. And we talking about crucial conversations. The telltale sign that a crucial conversation does need to happen is when all 3 of those items we mentioned earlier in the podcast, when they come together and unite.
Yeah.
That conversation matters.
Yes.
And that's a conversation you stated earlier about being in the same room. When there is that moment where that conversation needs to take place, I think both people involved or groups involved need to be 100% focused on that conversation.
Yes.
Turn off the TV. If you got a mobile device, cell phone, flip it upside down, turn it off. A group of mentors of ours, we used to go out to dinner, and what they would do at the dinner table, it was time to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody had to take their cell phone and electronic devices and put it in the center of the table.
Okay.
Now, whoever reached for their device that might be buzzing, vibrating, or going off, got to pay for everybody dinner at the table.
Okay.
And the reason they implemented that was because nowadays people don't talk. People don't have conversations. You go out to eat with dinner, and what do you see? Everybody at the table, 6 people at the table, and everybody's doing this.
On their phone.
Everybody's scrolling. So they at the dinner table, but they're not conversing.
Yeah. I make it as strong as possible when Tanya and I do go on our date. Well, we don't go out at night. When we go on our date dinners or whatever, I really make sure that as little as possible time spent on the phone.
Yeah, you plugged in with in the moment. You're
Yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
But nowadays we see in society, everybody want to pull out this and record a picture, take a picture. Live in the moment. I know we want to record moments that we have, but everybody want to record everything, and now you miss the beauty of that moment. Or in that stakes are high, emotions are high, difference of opinion situation, the conversation is time to be held, and we're having it, but you're not engaged. You're not actively listening. You're scrolling through your phone. That's, to me, that's a big sign of disrespect.
Yeah. One thing I'm learning, I'm continuing learning too right now, Crib, is that it's about having the conversations before they become crucial.
True.
Being more active, having conversations just in general before it becomes crucial. And it don't have to be anything specific. Just checking in to ensure that your state of mind, your emotions, your well-being, whatever it is going in your life, just checking in. Hey, this is our crucial conversation moment. How are you doing? And doing that on a regular basis, I think will eliminate all those other things that's popping up in your lives. Whoever you're associated with will eliminate all these other things too.
So just basically checking on a person.
Yeah.
Genuinely caring about people.
Yeah.
You know, one of our coaches, combined coaches that you and I have, I always hear him say, "How do you know people need encouragement?"
If they still living.
Because they breathing.
Yeah.
So everybody needs encouragement at some point in time.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what we were talking about, you know, wrapping it all up in a bow, is that when you need those conversations, or when those conversations that should be held, you got to be locked in.
Got to be locked in.
Locked in, plugged in, actively listening, asking clarifying questions.
Absolutely.
And in that process of asking clarifying questions, one thing, I was with a client the other day, and we were going through a situation. So I asked the 5 whys. So, for instance, say someone is angry. Okay, I hear you're angry. Why are you angry? Oh, I'm angry because the trash wasn't taken out. Ask another why. So why do you think the trash wasn't taken out? I don't know, it wasn't taken out because he was too lazy to take it out. Why do you think he was too lazy to take it out? Well, he had got home from work and he was tired. Why do you think he was tired? Because he had a hard day at work. 5 whys.
Yeah.
So the initial reason is not always the initial reason.
Yeah.
So when you ask those 5 whys, you now get down, not 5 whys. Some of y'all out there getting too happy. 5 whys. WHY. You know, you got to clarify these day and age. You say 5 whys, somebody got happy on the podcast. Like, oh, he gave 5 whys. But no, you ask the 5 whys because typically once you start asking by the 3rd or 4th why,
yeah,
you get to the root cause of that situation.
Absolutely.
It's not, you weren't mad because they didn't take the trash out. He didn't have the trash out because he or she was tired.
Yeah.
Had a bad day at work. But your emotions were high. And you reacted to the emotion because you asked the trash to be taken out. Like we do as parents.
Yeah.
Why you didn't clean your room? But as parents, we don't ask why. We say you do it because what?
We
Because I
said,
told you so.
absolutely.
But no, you gotta be not. Don't be afraid of crucial conversations.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of crucial conversations. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. I see you over there. So don't be afraid of crucial conversations. When they come in late, it could be a situation.
Yeah.
They come in early, could be a situation. So before we wrap up, Crib, what if you don't mind sharing? What was the last time you had to employ the skills that you learned from reading the book we talked about earlier, Crucial Conversations?
That's a great question. I had to use that thing last night. No, I'm just kidding.
Talk about it.
No. Probably just a couple of weeks ago, my wife and my daughter and I, we had a great talk, crucial conversation, just things that happened in our lives, probably over the past 15, 20 years that there was a much needed talk. And so, like I said, just mentioned just a few minutes ago, I'm still learning and growing. It's not nothing that I arrived because I read a book.
Right.
It's something you still need to work on for
Because
yourself.
it is one of them things. Just because you go to the gym last year don't mean you in shape.
Yeah.
So oftentimes people are overtrained and underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, if those that are wondering, yeah, you can listen to all the self-help books. You can listen to all the motivational talks. You can have a great coach like myself. I am a. We there. Find me. You can have a great coach. You can have a great support system. But if you as an individual don't put the work in yourself, all the time we have the great ideas for everybody else.
Yeah.
But we don't implement those great ideas in our own personal life that we share with everybody else.
100%.
So yeah, like you stated, growing, you stay growing. If you're not growing, I was on a Zoom call the other day. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
And don't nobody want to be around nothing that's dead.
I sure don't.
So thank y'all for joining us. If you want those three things again, when the stakes are high, emotions are high, and differences of opinion, it's time to sit down and have a what?
Crucial
conversation. And during that conversation time, make
Yes.
sure you get you something that you can sip
so we can converse.
and converse. See you next time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you got anything, put your thoughts in the chat. We want to hear about it. If you listen on podcast, take some notes, have that conversation with the person you may be listening with. But hope to see you next time.
Yes. And we're also on iTunes podcasts too.
Have a great day. I had a sip.
And converse. Peace.
Peace.